from the top to the bottom, hey yo, it's all hood. Guess I'll be soaking this game up just like I should. I don't be speaking no names, I don't give a fuck about. So just as long as I'm here, then you can count me out. You can count me out, you can count me out. Just as long as I'm here, then you can count me out. You can count me out, you can count me out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hey, you can count me out. I'm hitting bitches, my service, this bitches. All about my riches, my layers.
Welcome to the Chelladurai Inc show. I'm your host, Aaron Trilling, alongside my co-host, Jordan Phillip. Sorry, that was a terrible rendition of Robin Williams' Good Morning Vietnam that I just tried to do right there. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. A lot of stuff going on, folks. A lot of stuff. Just watched the Republican debate just now, and more and more people just seem to try and just Trump, so to speak. Really, 3 people left. Governor John Kasich is still in there from Ohio, but it's pretty much out of the picture at this point. Actually, to be frank, everybody's out of the picture. But the 3 in the lead are Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, Senator Marco Rubio from Florida, and your guy, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Very entertaining, to say the least. But anyway, don't want to get too political. The show's not about politics. It's about the better of subjects. But 9:01, time is 9:01, and we have a wonderful sports update for you guys. NBA fans, we get down to the wire, or sort of the wire with the NBA. We had the Miami Heat taking the Phoenix Suns that scored 108 and 92, and the Heat were able to win at home in Miami. San Antonio was on the road and beat New Orleans Pelicans that scored 94 to 86. Sacramento Kings also go on the road to defeat Dallas, Mark Cuban's team, in Dallas's home city of Dallas at a score of 104 to 101. You guys can tune in right now on TNT with about 9 minutes left in the third quarter, just a couple minutes into the second half, as Golden State is losing at home to Oklahoma City Thunder. So that'll be a good game. You guys do check it out. Another news out here locally in San Diego, Chargers actually released middle linebacker Donald Butler after just 2 seasons. When he signed for years and is let go after year 2. It's going to free up about $9.5 million of salary cap space for the Chargers entering the 2016 season. It was real, Donnie. It was real. You started out really good with us. I know you were a hell of a player in college over at Washington, University of. I can't remember if that's the Huskies or if that's the Cougars, but one of which. It's time to go, bro. It's time to grow. These rookies that we've been getting, a solid linebacker core. They're really made up of a lot of rookies and second-year players last year. You got Kyle Emanuel. You got Jerry Attachu. You got Melvin Ingram. You had Cavell Connor, who also actually got dumped. With running back Donnie Brown as well. So Donnie Brown, Cavell Connor, and whoever I just said, Donald Butler, is now out. So I think our linebacker core they got some confidence over there, thinking they're going to do something over there because they just dumped 2 linebackers. But other than that, looks like Denver is going to probably stick with a backup quarterback last year, Brock Osweiler, as I think he had about 9 starts last year. But it does look like all signs are pointing to sending Brock Osweiler a new contract for quarterback for the Denver Broncos. MLB is underway. Spring training in full effect. West, we do it in Peoria, Arizona. It's only about a 5-hour drive for us out here in San Diego. I got to get out there. Maybe me and Jordan will both go out there. Good time, good, get to drink, you can get autographs, all that cool stuff, with almost, a 1/100th of the audience that you would have at a big league ballpark. So you would almost get some one-on-one time out there. But that's pretty much it as far as sports are concerned. We do have a wonderful show. We have a very special guest that Jordan was able to line up for us. And without further ado, Jordan's right here. Jordan, how you doing for the show?
Good. What's going on?
Just giving our little sports update, 5 minutes after the hour. Little updates as far as our radio show is, bringing added value to our show, and just touch up on just a literary piece. I did finish a book, folks, titled "The Science of Getting Rich" by author Wallace D. Waddles. I think I mentioned it last week. Wonderful book, very short read, 85 pages. Really, it's the nuts and bolts about getting rich. It's about, getting rich quick. It's not about, what you had as far as your upbringing or anything like that, whether you're in from a bad neighborhood and you come from no money. This book really details, this author, Wallace Waddles, does a great job of really portraying and painting the picture that anybody, if you have the vision, and you have the dedication, that you really can persevere and be rich and be wealthy. And as long as you have that and you go about what he calls the certain way, and there are steps that he really has abided by and teaches in this book about doing these steps, these sequence of steps in this, quote, certain way. If you do them a certain way, no matter where you come from, what background, wherever you come from, whatever your strengths, weaknesses, hardships are, you will inevitably become rich. And at first I was reading a little bit, and I got to say I wasn't really feeling him. And then he really got me after about 20 pages, I really just I had a keen interest to listen to what he was saying. So it's actually a book referred to me by Jordan, which I really, very, very informative to me. And the information I got out of that book was wonderful. So again, folks, check that out, The Science of Getting Rich. Short read, 85 pages. You guys can kill it in a night. Author Wallace D. Waddles. Jordan, what was your take on that book at all, if you don't mind me asking, because I know you read it before.
Sure, yeah, and that's what, to kind of build on what you shared about the same book, The Science of Getting Rich, and we kind of had a conversation earlier this week that I think everyone can kind of benefit from, how Wallace kind of describes that thought matter, right? Or what was the exact word? The infinite substance, something like that, right?
So there's definitely some key words he used. He uses thinking stuff was one. He uses supreme intelligence, and he uses formless, the formless substance. Mm-hmm. It's going to get really weird, folks, but you got to read the book. But impressing a thought onto substance, in fact, creates the thought. I know it sounds really weird, but you guys got to read it. It's wonderful. But yeah, some very interesting. It's almost philosophical in a way.
Right.
Yes,
it gets also, that's what I kind of was thinking further after we talked, and I was looking further into that, and even from a biological standpoint, not to get too, scientific, because of course none of us are really here for that. But in everyone's brain, in the human's brain, there's what's known as the Reticular Activating System. And, I mean, you could just Google this and read about it. It's pretty interesting. Basically, it's a mechanism hardwired into the human brain in the base area of the brain. And what that does is it kind of filters out all the different stuff going on around us in our lives. At any time, there can be 2 million plus bits of data, information just floating around, from colors to sounds to smells to tastes, everything hitting our sensory receptors. And what the reticular activating system does is it filters out only what and lets in only what you're focusing on. So, if that's the premise, then let's say a buddy of yours gets a new car and they're driving a red Lexus. All of a sudden, or even yourself, let's say you buy a red Lexus. Up until that day, you would probably never seen a red Lexus on the road, and you thought you were the only one with it. Then you buy it, and everywhere you turn, you see the same car. And I mean, we spoke about that, right, Aaron? How you might be thinking about a friend or someone in particular, and you almost see that person. It may not be immediately, it can be a week, within a couple of days. The time span is irrelevant, but just you might think about someone, think about something, and it crosses your path in reality. So, tying back to the science of getting rich, it's kind of like the formless substance, that's kind of what I took from it, that, we are hardwired with these mechanisms, and there's a deeper science to it. So of course it is philosophical in a sense, but at the same time, there is some scientific, reasoning behind it, which is amazing. It's empowering to everybody to know that, based on, and not to get too woo woo kind of out there and weird with it, but you really can create the ideal circumstances that you want, whether that is a job or anything in your life. Basically, you have this system that we've been blessed with, so we also have the power to choose what is filtered in and out of that system, to keep it short.
Absolutely. And yeah, I kind of made the analogy about, seeing a commercial. Somebody's talking about seeing a commercial. And I say, oh, no, I've never seen that commercial before. And all of a sudden you go home and you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of that same thing. My next book, and I do want to let everybody know, because I'm only trying to read the best, most important books right now, folks. And my new book that I want to read is, that I started reading, is actually on the same topic as Waddle Dee Will's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, also a book already previously read by, I believe, Jordan. Think and Grow Rich, Your Key to Financial Wealth and Power, author Napoleon Hill. Do check that out as well, folks. They're not, don't get me wrong, they're not like people little, falsified ideas like how to get rich quick. These are really good, well-detailed books on plans on how to really maximize your wealth, how to do it, and I can't wait. I can't wait to finish to tell you guys more about it. Did you want to address anything? Did you want to elaborate on that point at all that you were speaking, as far as the whole sensory thing, Jordan, about seeing something or not ever seeing something or familiarizing? Yeah, go for it.
Yes, sure. So I mean, it goes deeper than that, to the point of where I don't know if any of our viewers or you, Aaron, have heard of like getting into visualizations, and they even have something called vision boards, which you can just create on your own. But I mean, the whole point of the thing is to constantly keep your mind focused on exactly what you want, because I mean, it's amazing that we've been given this machinery, the human body, and this amazing supercomputer of a brain, with technically no instruction manual, no type of know-how as to how to operate it to get optimal, efficient, desired results. We're just kind of bombarded from day to day with Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook. Now it's increasing more and more, so it's becoming extremely difficult to maintain a focused state of mind. And nobody's immune to it. I constantly have to recheck myself throughout the day as to, what am I focusing on right now. When you're hopping on the social media, you can kind of, you start to get scrambled due to an overload of information, right? That's what we're in right now, is the information age. We've shifted through different times in the U.S. economy, where there were the factories where people would come in, work on an assembly line that was automated, machines picked those jobs up. Then we used to have an operator. We used to hit zero, and ask the operator to connect us to other people. That's been eliminated. So everything is moving further and further deeper into this information age. So, there's a whole lot of information out there. Some of it is beneficial, some of it is not. But really, it's solely up to the individual to take control of their, RAS, reticular activating system, and decide what you want to see. In a sense, it's kind of like you choose to experience what you want to experience. So if you wake up in the morning and your mind is kind of tuned and it's hardwired to kind of search for problems, search for difficulties, search for lack in a lot of situations. We're always focusing on what we don't have. We don't have enough money in our bank account. Maybe we don't live in the exact home that we want to live in. Maybe we don't live in the exact city we want to live in. But the more you focus on that, the more of that you're going to get. So, I mean, it ties back into just being thankful for the ride, being thankful for the journey, being thankful for being able to just experience life. There's a lot of, and I'm going to be blunt, there's a lot of bullshit going on around us right now. But again, you can choose to sit and experience among that bullshit, or you can choose to experience something else, experience something greater, experience something that is bettering yourself, is pulling you towards, again, your goals, and that's what I know. We tend to talk about the same things week in and week out, but we're going to continue to talk about the same things because that's what we're here for. We're here for a purpose. We're here on a mission. And I, it really is up to you what you want to make of life. If 10% or less of the world's population hold over 90% of the world's wealth, we can sit back and say, they were given that money from generation to generation, or we can realize that some of those people brought themselves into those circumstances. And if you really want to do something about it, it's not all about the money either. If you really want to do something about it, you would strive to get into that top percentage and turn around and give that money back. That's making a real change, make an impact. But it all starts inside. It all starts inside in the mind, with the RAS from the moment we wake up, from the moment you go to sleep, depends on how you wake up. But I could talk all day, but I don't know. Did our guest hop on yet?
No, what, she didn't, and you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Jordan, you bring up a wonderful conversation. Where did you hear? Were you reading something? I'm sorry, regarding the RAS. Like, where did you touch on that? How did you find out information about the RAS?
It really all spurred from our conversation, right? We had that conversation earlier this week, just trying to figure out what was Wallace talking about in the Science of Getting Rich. So when we talked about it, I was trying to figure out, okay, because we kind of had an understanding, okay, there's something which he's referring to as almost a physical thing, but there's no way we can see it from here, from where our standpoint is. Like we don't know what he's talking about. So I kind of looked further into it to see if there's something more to it. And I've heard of this reticular activating system before. Of course, not in these public educations, not in school or anything like that. But I can't remember exactly where I've heard it from. But yeah, I just kind of looked further into it, and if you Google it, for you, Aaron, or anybody out there, you'll really be amazed at the amount of information. There's not a small amount of information on this. Like, this is a well-known, relatively well-known. There's a wealth of knowledge online related to the reticular activating system, and what it can do is amazing. It's unreal. The why more people don't know about it is is baffling, But again, we can't blame our surroundings for why we don't have one thing or another. Our surroundings are designed in a specific way to maintain that gap in wealth. It's designed specifically to maintain that gap where a smaller amount of people who are in the know have that information. They're able to attain much higher levels of specifically financial success. And again, this might come off as offensive, and if it does, it's not meant to be. But to be honest, if all you're thinking about is paying your electricity bill and when you're gonna buy your next pair of shoes, that's selfish. If all you want to do is make enough money just to get by, then who are you thinking about? You're only thinking about yourself, right? So if a guy is sitting down and says, he wants to be a billionaire, I would say that guy is not selfish because he's thinking about other people. If he was a billionaire, he's going to be doing things with his money. He's going to be employing people, right? Giving people jobs. He's going to be donating money. He should be donating money because that's another one of the kind of the laws. There's a law of gravity. There's a law of reciprocity. The more you give, the more you receive. So it's just some of the different laws we're working with in this universe.
Folks, if you guys are just joining us, just Jordan and I speaking on the Reticular Activating System. It's known as the RAS, and really bringing it back to monetization and how that is used as a device and an instrument to actually bring about money. And for those of you guys that don't know, again, it is very hard. Again, it's called the RAS. It's a Reticular Activating System, and also has another name for the extrathalamic control modulatory system. And basically, it's a set of connected nuclei in the brains of vertebrates that is responsible for regulating wakefulness and sleep-wake transitions. As its name implies, its most influential component is the reticular formation. Goes on and on and on to talk about some things. Jordan has done a great job elaborating on what it is and how really we can apply that to our lives to better ourselves. And without getting too crazy about it, it looks like it's composed of several neuronal circuits connecting the brainstem to the cortex. And these pathways originate in an upper brainstem and project through what's called synaptic relays, in something that will just totally blow your mind if I even tell you this was a word. But it's very interesting. It talks about neurotransmitters and anatomical components. But do check it out if you guys just want to Wikipedia it or whatever. But it does talk about direct electrical stimulation. Jordan, I'm baffled, man. I could stay here for about an hour and check this out. I'll definitely keep looking into it. Time now, folks, is 9:29. You guys are live listening to Jordan and Aaron on the Chelladurai Inc. show. We had a guest lined up. I don't know where was she calling out of, Jordan? Do you know geographically?
Yeah, she was just here in Chino, so only an hour north, close to LA.
Okay, well, good. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll have to get back to her on a separate week. But this whole talk about RAS is just making me just go crazy. I love it. Well, in other news, we actually, folks, we started this show. Really, it's funny because Jordan and I started this show initially for music, and as you can tell, time is 9:30 now. For 30 minutes, we haven't even said the word music, so we are really expanding. And for ourselves, I mean, this is a guinea pig experiment for the two of us as well. We did this in an effort to kind of create awareness and catch a buzz musically, as both of us are musicians out in San Diego. But I think it's just wonderful that Jordan and I have had the opportunity to speak with the people that we've had for Spotlight and go with the non-music route, kind of encompassing a lot of different things, a lot of different segments in the show. I know today we kind of got a little carried away with the literary piece and the Reticular Activating System. You guys are probably all hot for that one. But it really just goes back to, I'm just proud to be a part of something that is still rapidly growing, rapidly expanding, and forever changing because, like I said, we got on this for music, and we're talking about so many different topics. It shows real advancement and growth within the show. That being said, on the topic of music, the Progressive Regressions is in about 8 record stores in the San Diego area. If you guys do want to check those out, contact Jordan and I personally on our contact page. If you guys would like a copy, though, straight up, because we can get it to you quicker. But we do have a solo album coming out for myself that Jordan will be producing for me. My artist's name is David Capewood, and I do have a solo project coming out soon with that. That's probably, as far as the music goes, the current updates with the Chelladurai Inc. label. That's as current as we get. We are trying to grow and expand our A&R. And for those who know about A&R and hear that abbreviation all the time, I need you guys to know what A&R stands for. A&R is a department in a record label that stands for artists and repertoire, and it's basically a department where there's somebody in charge. In this particular case, it's kind of my role that I play, and these people go out and make sure that they're make this label an artist-centric label. So we go out and we handpick the artists that we want on our label to record their music, and their music, their ways, their ideas, their thoughts, their opinions expressed through their music is actually reflected on our label. So A&R is very, very, very important, and I feel like it's not a term or a thing that's really talked about too much, and it's absolutely imperative for a record label to really have good A&R, because you don't want somebody representing you as an artist that you really just don't want on your label. So it's very important to get the right people. Kind of goes back to Jim Collins' book I spoke about a couple of weeks ago, folks. Jim Collins wrote a book called Good to Great, and it talks about companies, what makes good companies, what differentiates good companies from great companies. In this sense, what differentiates good record labels from great record labels, and it's all about getting the right people. It's all about getting the right people on the bus, whether that be the behind-the-scenes people that do all the paperwork and the red tape for the record label, for the organization, to actually physically, literally hiring the right artist. You want the right artist. You need the right artist. You need that right bang, And again, just going back, I know I'm kind of rambling, but Jordan and I are really working on broadening our A&R department and really getting on some kind of catering towards females right now. We are looking for a girl to really incorporate some female vocals, whether they be bridges, whether they be hooks, or whether they just be verses. We want to, we're not, we like the dudes. We like the dudes. If you guys are all talented, please contact us. But we're really looking for a certain sound right now, and our niche sound right now that Jordan and I are both looking for happens to be kind of some female vocal singing. But that's all I had on that. So I just, as far as on the music side, is there anything you want to add as far as the Chelladurai Inc. or the beats or production side or anything at all?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to build on what you said. As far as having professional representation, Aaron would I would any day, which I do, is have Aaron represent the organization, the label. So similarly, if there is a female artist out there who's looking to really take the next steps into furthering, development and their career as far as music goes, Aaron is very, very outgoing, personable individual who can get out there, make connections, and represent an artist, and like I said, take them to the next level. That's really what we're all about as far as pulling together the right people, putting the right players in the right places, and just having the team go through the steps necessary to reach exposure. Different connections are being made right now with ourselves playing dual roles, or not even dual. I would say they would be more than dual. But record shops are being are carrying the products, carrying the music. So a lot of things are being set up which will benefit future artists as we're getting everything off the ground. And music production wise, also, the beats are coming up to a new sound. We're hitting a new sound. I would say be excited for that new David Capewood project, because we're definitely gonna put a lot into that. So Progressive Regressions was a nice one. It was a preview of what's to come. And again, like Aaron said, the music is really why we started and got into this, because even if we don't make a career per se, or whatever, at the end of the day we love making music, so we're going to continue to make music. We're going to continue to expand the sound, bring in talent, different talent who we see fit for the company, the organization, and just continue to grow from there.
Well said, Jordan. Very well said. Really can't add too much to that. But Jordan and I, again, I think I speak for Jordan as well, and myself when I say that it's been a lot of fun doing these shows. It's been a lot of fun having you guys listen in. And again, we started. If you guys ever go back and listen to show 1, I don't know if it's on our YouTube channel. It's a complete joke. We were just kind of getting the chutes and ladders and the nuts and bolts down of how to really run the show, and definitely made some great progress. And we've definitely morphed into different segments and done different things, and we're trying out different things. And we love you guys' continuing listening, support, and checking us out. Time now is 9:39. Basically, the benediction of this evening's show. Kind of our whole show was kind of a benediction. We generally do this at the end of the show. Unfortunately, we didn't have our guest call in this evening, but that's all right. We'll try and have her arranged for next Thursday. I'm really actually fortunate and glad that she didn't call in, because we really had a really great discussion as far as everything that was spoke about. Jordan, any last words at all to our audience, to myself, to yourself, anything at all you'd like to say before we cut her loose?
I think we're about at the tail end, but, again, I mean, I hope this information came across as valuable, what we spoke about tonight, to our audience. I know we're growing across the U.S. and globally, based on all the views and the listens, but, it's amazing. It's an amazing time to be alive, and, I'm enjoying it, and, everybody, I hope the same for everybody else.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks so much. Do check out the David Capewood project. We guys will definitely give you guys updates on when that will be dropping. Not anytime soon. Definitely in the mix. Beat making and writing and recording. We're still trying to live off the land with this Progressive Regressions mixtape. That was a collaboration of both Jordan and myself. D. Capewood solo album will be coming out, title to be announced. Do give further research on what we talked about this evening as far as the RAS folks, the Reticular Activating System, I think it was, Reticular Activating System, RAS, Everybody's got one. And try and figure out, what it's all about and how you guys can really use that to your advantage. With that, I'll see you guys next week. Keep that head high, that middle finger higher. And this is Jordan and Aaron signing out. Thanks so much, and join us next week, same time, Thursday at 9 p.m. for the Chelladurai Inc show. We'll see you then. Take care.
I'ma like you if you got the fucking class and the clout, but if you's a trick, you can count me out. From the top to the bottom, hey yo, it's all good. Cause I be soaking this game up just like I should. I don't be speaking no names, I don't give a fuck about. So just as long as I'm here, then you can count me out. You can count me out, you can count me out. Just as long as I'm here, then you can count me out. You can count me out, you can count me out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hey, you can count me out.
On midnight, cruising with my top blown off. Eye candy, rotten shoddy, she just came to get lost in my atmosphere. Watch me click pause, breaking all the rules and we follow no laws. They say time waits for no man, so I do my own dance. She just wants to shake it right out her pants. Repetitions daily, so my arms strong like Lance. Come from a land so hot, keeping deep dance. I'm a lone wolf, looking for a Betty Boop. Told her she was cool, now she thinks I'm way cute. Slipping as we slide, hit the 15 roof. Baby, I can make it do what it fucking do.
From the top to the bottom, hey yo, it's all good. Cause I be soaking this game up just like I should. I don't be speaking no names, I don't give a fuck about. So just as long as I'm here, then you can count me out. You can count me out, you can count me out. Just as long as I'm here,